Hello, everyone. Welcome. In today's video, we'll be discussing Sumerian Tablets 4. However, if you haven't watched the Sumerian Tablets 1, 2, and 3 videos yet, you might not fully understand what I'll be sharing today. So, I recommend watching those first. Now, where did we leave off? Alalu and the heroes had sent off Adbul to Nibiru with the gold. Thus, Adbul's dangerous journey began. Adbul confidently piloted the sky chariot. Word had already been sent to Nibiru. There was an atmosphere of impatience on Nibiru. Adbul first circled Kingu, the moon. He did this to gain speed by using Kingu's gravitational pull. With the momentum gained from Kingu, Adbul rapidly headed toward Lamu Mars. Using Lamu's gravity, he changed his trajectory and headed towards Nibiru. After passing Lamu, the hammered bracelet, the asteroid belt came into view. This was the most dangerous part of the journey. He took out the crystals Ea had given him before the trip, inserted them, and activated them. He found the previously opened and used passageway. Using this path, he navigated through the meteors and continued on his way to Nibiru. Luck was on his side. Adbul successfully located the open passage and progressed smoothly, leaving the hammered bracelet behind. At this point, signals from Nibiru took over control of the sky chariot. Adbul relaxed in his seat. The sky chariot circled Nibiru 3 times. Its speed gradually reduced, and it was prepared for landing. As he neared Nibiru's atmosphere, Adbul saw the damaged area, the growing hole. The thought of how crucial the gold was to Nibiru's salvation weighed heavily on him. As the craft entered the atmosphere, it began to glow and heat up, but Adbul skillfully landed the sky chariot safely. Upon landing, a large crowd had gathered to welcome him and the gold. King Anu greeted Adbul, embracing him with praise. The heroes immediately began transporting the gold. Turning to the crowd, Anu showed the gold baskets and declared, "Salvation is here." Exhausted, Adbul was taken to the palace to rest. The gold was immediately handed over to the scholars to be refined and launched into the atmosphere. Processing the gold took a full 3,600 years. Once preparations were complete, rockets transported the gold into the atmosphere, and as soon as it was dispersed, the atmosphere began to improve. This news brought great joy to the people and the king, renewing hope that the kingdom would once again thrive. However, as Nibiru approached the sun, the gold particles were degraded by the sun's rays, and the improvement in the atmosphere began to reverse. This revealed the need for more gold. King Anu ordered Adbul to return to Earth once more. This time, he was accompanied by more heroes, and the sky chariot was fitted with water extraction and dispersion systems. Nungal also joined the mission as a guide. After a challenging journey, they successfully reached Eridu, Earth. Adbul and the other heroes were greeted with great excitement. Upon their return to Earth, the old and new heroes reunited. Catching up after their time apart, Ea began planning how to use the new water extraction and dispersion systems. The gold extraction efforts resumed, but after an entire SAR, only 2 baskets of gold were obtained. This saddened Ea until he remembered Tiamat. Enki said, "What he has done will already kill him, so a death sentence is warranted." But Anzu suggested, "Let's imprison him on Earth until he dies." Everyone voiced their opinions, but Anu thought long and hard about these words. Finally, Anu made his decision. He stood up and said, "Exile shall be his punishment." The others couldn't hide their surprise. They wondered, "What is Anu saying?" Anu continued, "Yes, exile, but neither on Nibiru nor on Earth. Alalu will be exiled to Lamu, Mars." He added, "Put Alalu on the sky chariot. When I leave Earth, he will travel with me. We will circle Lamu and give him a sky chamber. Landing him on Lamu, he will be exiled on a foreign planet and count his remaining days in solitude." Anu's words were powerful, and everyone unanimously agreed. The decision was made in the presence of the heroes. Before departing for Nibiru, Anu turned to Enlil and Enki and said, "Nungal will guide me on the journey and return to Earth with more heroes once we reach Nibiru. Anzu will also join the journey and be responsible for the landing on Lamu." Enlil and Enki accepted these instructions. The next day, those journeying boarded the sky chariot over the ocean. Anu, limping, boarded the chariot, and Alalu, with his hands bound, was seated next to him. The farewells were both sad and joyful. As the sky chariot rose and glided away, King Anu's official visit came to an end. They first circled the moon, then set off toward Lamu. When they reached Lamu, they circled the planet twice before beginning their descent. Once in orbit, preparations were made to land Alalu on Lamu with the sky chamber. Alalu would spend the rest of his days alone on Mars. Anzu then turned to Anu with an unexpected offer. "I will descend with Alalu onto Lamu's rough surface, but I do not wish to leave him and return with the sky chamber. I want to stay with him on this foreign planet. When he dies, I will give him a king's burial." These words surprised King Anu, but he respected them. "I promise you on the next mission, Sky Chariot will approach Lamu and send you a sky chamber. If you are still alive, they will find you, and I will declare you the Lord of Lamu. If a way station is established on Lamu, you shall be its commander." Anzu bowed his head and said, "So be it." Alalu and Anzu were placed in a sky chamber. They donned their eagle helmets and fish suits, and the sky chamber was stocked with food, drink, and necessary tools. The sky chamber detached from the sky chariot and the descent was observed. After the sky chamber disappeared from view, the journey to Nibiru continued. Alalu had been Nibiru's king for 9 shars, 3,600 years. He had commanded Eridu for 8 shars, but in his 9th shar, he was condemned to die in exile on Lamu. Upon his return to Nibiru, Anu was greeted with joy. In the assembly, he recounted the events on Earth to the princes. He made it clear that there would be no revenge, and he asked everyone to focus on their assigned tasks. The plan was as follows: establish way stations from Nibiru to Earth. Unify all beings in the solar system under one kingdom, build the first palace of this kingdom on Lamu, and establish several protective stations on Kingu the moon. Gold would be extracted without interruption and transported to Nibiru. This plan would be executed flawlessly. If more gold was found elsewhere, the plan would be expanded. Anu's plan was deemed perfect, and preparations began immediately. New types of rockets were added to the sky chariots, and the heroes for the mission were chosen. Instructions were given to accelerate the work on Earth. Upon receiving orders, Enlil and Enki discussed these plans at length. Enki appointed Alagar as governor of Eridu and set off for Abzu. There, he determined how gold would be extracted from the depths of the earth. The duties and needs of the heroes were calculated. Using his wisdom, Enki designed land vehicles and sent the blueprints to Nibiru. He named these vehicles the Crusher and the Pounder. He also prepared a list of necessary supplies for the newly arrived heroes. The rapid rotation of Earth, with its fast days and nights, was making life difficult for the heroes. Earth's atmosphere was lacking in some ways and excessive in others. For example, the heroes were forced to eat the same food repeatedly and were overly affected by the sun's heat. Work was done to address these issues, and Enki began his efforts in Abzu. Meanwhile, Enlil scanned the skies and Earth, counting mountains and rivers, both on Nibiru and Earth. Work intensified as time on Nibiru was running out. Alalu remained in exile on Mars. So friends, we've reached the end of the 4th part of the Sumerian Tablets. In the 5th part, we will unlock the door to mysterious events and witness new adventures. Don't forget to subscribe and like to support the channel. See you in the next video. Take care.